So we have a theist who is in the queue. So I would love to pull Emma Grace on. So I'm going to pull her in first.
$5 will be read at the end of the
Okay.
show.
Hi, Emma.
Hello.
Oh, I hear
Hi.
myself in the background.
Is it better now? I'm sorry.
No, it's totally fine. Yeah, it's much better now.
Better.
How are you?
I'm all right. We're just real quick. I go by Emma Grace.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That'd be great. And apparently there were issues, and I didn't even know because I was just sitting here cooking soup.
Oh,
and
good.
yeah, I've been wanting to talk to y'all for a long time, but I'm always working on Tuesday.
Oh, well, I'm excited that you finally got to call in. That's awesome. So, and your topic sounds really interesting. So do you want to explain what you wanted to talk about today?
Yes, I would. I am wondering how much of kink or fetish ick is just like a stronghold from deconstructing purity culture. And I know like there's a lot surrounding kink, even like with my own kinks and discoveries that I had to learn a lot about when reprogramming how I educate about sex and reproductive justice is a big one being polyamory. And the reason why I'm asking this is because my spouse and I have had our marriage open for over a year, but I just like met a polyquad at a progressive church and was just shocked and appalled and pearl clutchy cunt at first after reevaluating and asking a lot of questions, realized it was normativity from the West and nuclear family propaganda giving me those icks and not necessarily an inherent good or bad thing, just like a neutral sort of thing. But what I am having a problem with in my dating life is whenever I'm on like a dating app, if I have a physical disability and if I am open about that online, I either get no matches or just get a handful of people who are devotees or have a fetish for disability, which gives off major red flags in my gut and in my DMs. But I also want to talk to people who don't know me personally and can maybe give me perspective if I'm just being uncharitable towards those people or if there's something more there.
Well, so for kinks and fetishes, most of the time what we've seen is people, their kinks and their fetishes are, I'll just use kink as like the overarching. People's kinks are more likely, and the things that they fantasize in general are more likely just whatever is taboo to them. So like there was a massive survey that was done a couple of years ago in the US, and it was like 4,000 people. And in that survey, and this is like one of my favorite little facts from this book, but it's an entire book. It's called Tell Me What You Want. And it's all about that survey that they had done. And it's all about like what fantasies and kinks and whatever people want to explore. And in that book, they talked about how people who are registered Democrats are more likely to engage in kinks that are like role-playing traditional roles. So role-playing things that are like the maid or like a trad wife. Like they are more inclined to doing that. Republicans or people who register as Republicans are more likely to have kinks and fantasies that are related to infidelity, group sex, orgies. Like it's so basically what we do in the bedroom is a lot of the time things that are really taboo for us in our everyday life. So I think that there is a part of it that is kind of like if you're deconstructing from purity culture or you really experience purity culture, it's exciting. Our brains really want novelty. And when we are in any sort of sexual experience, that certainly applies. And for some people, there's some people who will be with their partner for a certain period of time and they'll experience like a slump in their sex life. And most of the time it's a lack of novelty. Like they just need to shake it up in like some small way, and it will refresh the whole situation. But yeah, I think it's wanting novelty. I think sometimes it also is like a way to maybe explore things that felt like they were once really like dangerous, taboo, and like not okay and shameful, and bring them into your everyday life so that it feels like there's some level of acceptance around it. So yeah. Does that make sense?
It does, especially like something I try to tell people who are exploring things they want to do, like during physical intimacy is like, your first thought is probably your heuristics or your worldview that you were brought up in. So if it was in an American school system, there's probably some Christo-fascism in there. But then your second and subsequent thought are you're actually thinking something through and wrestling with it, and is probably more of your values or desires that you reflect or want to reflect. But what I'm having trouble with is when it comes to this one thing of only having this one particular type of person even try to match with me, just constantly thrown in my face. Because if I see a kink or have people share their kinks with me, it's something that I can think about, kind of write in a journal, put on a shelf, and don't have to think about anymore. But this gets thrown in my face a lot. And I feel like an asshole for not being into it, but thinking that's just part of my identity. So how does a kink or a fetish that is part of your identity work into that? Yeah.
I think it's perfectly fine that your reaction to this is, I don't really want people making a kink out of my disability. Like, you are entitled to have that be how you feel. Like, that's totally fine. And part of it is also like you're being kind of sexualized without your consent when people do things like that. Like, it's different if you have established a relationship with a person and they say like, hey, I actually want to explore something with you. And you already, at this point, you've established that you are safe with this person, emotional, physical safety, and then maybe you open up that conversation. But if they're coming to you first with like a kink like that, no matter what it is, it's like, it feels similar to me to if you have like big boobs or whatever, and you're on a dating app and every message you get is about motorboating you. It's like, okay, like that doesn't feel good. So it can feel objectifying, I'm sure, and it's sexualizing you without your permission. So I think, I mean, you could put somewhere on your profile, if you're interested in having a conversation about like kinks or whatever it is, however you can word it so that it feels like kind of clear. Please don't message me, because it's completely
but you
understandable.
know what happens when you write that down?
What?
Everyone messages
People do it.
Oh. Yes.
Yeah.
It attracts more people who say, don't do this. And I feel like actually what you said, I feel like a low wattage light bulb just kind of went off above my head, and I'm shocked Pikachu meme right now of you saying that it is like basically not with my consent. And it's realizing it's actually fucking ableist. And I hadn't thought about it necessarily in that sort of way until you said that it's not with your consent type thing. So thank you for that. I had a little light bulb moment there.
Good. Okay, good. I'm glad. And I wonder if it might be worth using an app that allows you to reach out first. Like you know how Bumble does that? Like, I wonder if that might change the result that you have, because ultimately, like, we can't control the actions of others. You can only control the actions that you want to take. And the only thing that you can really do is like, if people reach out to you with those kinds of comments, like, I would report them and block them, and or come off of those apps where people can reach out to you in that way. And or like, you could also just not check the section of people who reached out to you first, and just go on reaching out to people on your own. And if people like are matching with you first, just be like, maybe we ignore that section. I think there just has to be like a little bit of like, take the control back and who has access to you to the best of your ability. Like, obviously it's not really perfect, but to the best of your ability.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's kind of nobody if I do that, but I would rather like know from the get-go if someone is a red flag or not good and not date at all than have that sort of objectification.
Totally. I'm trying to think if there's any other things that you can try. I mean, sometimes I think it's helpful
I try to go out in person.
Yeah, like that's really helpful for sure. And sometimes I think it's helpful to even use like things like OkCupid where like you have to do like a whole profile versus like swiping back and forth vibes. And I don't know, maybe that might give like a little bit of a different clientele for better or for worse, but it might bring you like a different group of people. I always feel like for services like that where you have to take time and write something all the way through, or things that you have to pay for, which nowadays I haven't spent a lot of time on the apps in like many years, but nowadays I hear that it kind of doesn't matter what app you use. They put like paywalls behind like all of their best services, which is like
that's lame.
It sounds fucking annoying. I don't envy having to go on the apps because it's hard. Like it's hard. But also I think what will also be will continue to be helpful is just like, you know, it's always going to be a numbers game. There's going to be a lot of like people who are going to be a whole bunch of like weirdos no matter what. And as you know, putting yourself out there to the best of your ability without harming your mental health. Like if you're feeling like really icky about it, then get off the apps, take a break, like be in real life, go to singles events. I know like in New York City, they'll do like singles parties and they're really fun. And doing stuff like that might be helpful.
Yeah, like, or I guess in my case, poly parties.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Wait, okay, so actually I have a question, Emma Grace. Are the apps that you're on like are they things like Field where it's like you're potentially looking for someone who's interested in poly, so you're in like a kink adjacent space?
So Field and Hinge, but also I just don't match with anyone on Field. It's like Hinge that this is happening.
Okay. I was just curious because I felt like on Field, I was like, I don't know, maybe people are going in it sort of like kink minded and that's where it's coming from. But I guess people are just weird on every app. I don't
mind. It's just that one. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like ultimately the problem is not the kink. It's that it's being presented to you without your permission. Like you did not consent to that at all. And it's just being like dropped off on your lap and it's objectifying. So you have every right to feel icky about it, but just find little ways that you can like take control back, I think.
Okay. It feels like I am not the asshole in this situation. And I guess that's what most of this call was in my mind. And I've been wanting, like I said, to call you for a while now. And I really appreciate yapping and Pikachu meme moments. Thank you.
You are so welcome. Thank you for calling.
All right. I hope y'all have a good night.
Thank you.
You too. Bye.
Hey guys, thanks for watching that last clip on Chewed Gum. You can catch us live Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Central Time. And please tell your Christian friends to give us a call and let us know why they believe in God. You can also support us by commenting, liking, and subscribing. And head over to patreon.com/calltheline.